Congratulations. You are living in historic times. We are all living in historic times because this year, 2013, is the year when the United States Congress did less work than any other U.S. Congress in the history of U.S. Congresses, people. Oh, yeah. This Congress has passed less legislation and made less policy and less law than literally any other Congress in the history of our country back to the beginning. They are on track to set the record. And that's not even counting the fact that while they were doing no legislating at all, they also managed to shut down the federal government and almost default on the national debt, all before Halloween. So, let's say you have a car that's up on blocks in the yard, right? It's up on blocks, it's not on wheels, it doesn't run. But then in addition to being up on blocks and not running, you also manage to push the car off the blocks and onto your foot. So in addition to not driving you anywhere, your car has also managed to break all your toes. That's what this Congress is. And in this metaphor, you pay your car $174,000 a year to sit there on blocks and occasionally break your feet. This Congress is amazing. And it has been amazing for a very long time. This year will set the record for Congress doing less than it has ever done before. But the record before this year will be last year, which is the first year that John Boehner took over as Speaker. This Congress is amazing. But small glimmer of hope today, a tiny blink and you might miss it sign of progress today. Actually, a couple signs of progress. First of all, the House of Representatives decided today to add a whole extra day of work to their calendar between now and the end of the year. See, they had planned to give themselves a total of 239 days off work this year, but now they're only going to give themselves 238 days off work. They have just decided that they are going to be in session next Monday, which means that next week, your member of Congress is planning to work a full 5-day week, which they never do. And so we should probably all get the fainting couches ready. They might pass out. You know, though, progress is progress. Baby steps. So that was sign of progress number one. They're actually going to work next week. Sign of progress number two is that the House actually passed a thing today. The House actually passed something important and substantive that has a good chance of not dying on its way across the hall to the Senate. The House today voted to keep in place our country's longstanding ban on plastic guns that cannot be detected by metal detectors. Ronald Reagan signed the plastic gun ban in 1988. It was due to expire this week, but the House today voted to keep it in place, to extend it for another 10 years. Naturally, the House of Representatives decided to cast this vote in the least courageous way possible. They passed it by a voice vote, which means that nobody has to be on the record as voting for it or against it, but still, I'm not complaining. Baby steps. They did it. They passed what should be the easiest thing in the entire world to pass. But for this Congress, no one was quite sure if they could do it. And that's not all. The third glimmer of getting something done from the worst Congress ever today was a report from Politico.com. Politico reporting that Democratic Senator Patty Murray, who heads up budget issues for the Democrats, Patty Murray and her Republican counterpart in the House, according to Politico, they are reportedly rather close to a deal, which might actually result in us having a budget as a country. That'd be neat. And which would at least partially replace the self-inflicted, designed to be stupid and painful cuts known as the sequester. According to Politico, a deal to finally kibosh the stupid sequester could finally be at hand. Maybe. There's a catch, though. It's Senator Patty Murray, right, in the Senate. She's a Democrat. Her Republican counterpart in the House, who she's working with on this, is Congressman Paul Ryan of Wisconsin. And that might be a problem, because you might remember Paul Ryan from the big Deficit Reduction Commission in 2010. He was part of that, and then he killed it. You might also remember him from the grand bargain struck by President Obama and Speaker John Boehner in 2011, which was also killed by Paul Ryan. So yes, Patty Murray and Paul Ryan are reportedly close to a deal, which would kill the sequester and get us a budget and all sorts of other reasonable things that everybody in Washington says they want. But Paul Ryan's whole history of working on deals like this is that he likes to be seen to be working on them before he breaks free and calls them impure and then kills what he himself helped to negotiate. So we shall see on this. I am not exactly getting excited about this yet. Initial reports are positive, long-term prospects are dim. But you know what? Even the babiest of baby steps are still steps. And in a year like this one, with a Congress like this one, even the most meager signs of forward progress must be nurtured. You can do it, you guys. You can do it. Surprise everybody.